Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Kato and I'm so happy to be back on the Reverse Confetti YouTube channel today. Today I am showing you a perfect design to mass produce if you want to, and I am showing you a great way to stretch your supplies. So in this case I am trying out another use for coordinating dies. I am first going to stamp a pattern on my card front with Versamark ink. I have centered that little party hat from the Birthday Buddies stamp set at the top of my card panel, and I am shifting my card panel five blocks to whichever direction I need to. So I am shifting it 1 inch and a quarter inch to make this pattern. It's really easy to do. It's perfect for mass producing because lining it up takes the longest time. I have no use for mass producing cards. I have too many to store, but if you're looking for a great birthday card design that is really easy to make lots and lots of, maybe you can give a set to one of your friends. This is my favorite design to do. This is also great for a 1-layer card. I'm not really comfortable making 1-layer cards. I always work on a separate panel. I just find that easier. But if you want to make it a 1-layer card, you absolutely can. Once I'm done stamping, I am going to sprinkle some embossing powder onto this. So the great thing about Versamark ink is that I can actually stamp all 9 of these little party hats without worrying about the ink drying. So I am just sprinkling on some Wow gold embossing powder, and before heat setting this, because heat setting always warps the paper, I'm also going to stamp my sentiment, and this is from the Party Pals stamp set by Reverse Confetti. I'm just using the grid on my Misti to line up the stamp, just like I did with the party hat before I started filming. This one I'm going to quickly stamp in Versafine Onyx black ink, and then I am going to sprinkle on some embossing powder onto that as well. Just some clear gloss superfine embossing powder by Wow to make that black really, really shiny, and just it stands out so prettily once it's embossed. I love embossing powder. I'm slightly obsessed with it. I'm heat setting everything at once, and as you can see, my paper is warping. It's pretty much inevitable that your paper warps, so I don't bother with all the tricks that exist out there. It's always gonna warp a little bit. Now I am going to figure out the colors for these party hats just by switching my ink cubes around. I know I have a grid of 3x3, so I'm just figuring out which ink cube goes where. And once I'm happy with that, I can cut my stencils. So that is what I'm doing with that party hat coordinating die. I die cut 3 stencils. You don't really need to cut 3. I just thought it would be safer to not get all of the colors mixed up on one stencil, because you're going to end up picking up the color from the previous party hat a little bit anyway. So I made a couple, so I had 1 stencil per color group. And that's why I appear to be coloring them in a very random order. I am just going by the colors that I worked out on my grid. And yeah, so 1 stencil per color group, and it's really easy to do. So I am trying to add a little bit of shading into these, not too much. I'm not worried about it too much, but I want the bottom right of the party hats to be a little bit darker than the rest of them. I'm working through all of these colors, and it did take me a while. I think I spent 10 minutes blending this, but I mean, it's really relaxing. I really don't mind spending 10 minutes ink blending. I'd rather spend 10 minutes ink blending than 20 minutes coloring this in, because these aren't super interesting to color in. I love coloring, but not something this repetitive. I'd rather ink blend something like this. We're almost done, and once I'm done ink blending, I'm pretty much done making this card. This is it for the card. I am just going to fix a mistake here with my sand eraser. I shifted my stencil for the pink one, so there was a little bit of ink blending that was not that pretty and not really inside the lines. So I got rid of most of that. It didn't solve it completely, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just not as noticeable now. I am just gluing that panel right on top of my top folding white note card, and that's it. That's my card already. And it's so shiny with the gold embossing powder. It's very, very colorful, which is exactly how I like my birthday cards. And it's super easy to make. And as someone who loves fuzzy cutting, so who doesn't really love spending money on coordinating dies, I do really like finding more uses for them. So I have an excuse to buy the coordinating dies for my stamp sets. And this stencil technique is definitely one I am going to use over and over again. It's so fun to do, so relaxing, and I just love finding more ways to use your coordinating dies. I hope you like it too. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video and leave your thoughts or questions in the comments below. I would love to read them. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.